Hello and welcome to the morning meeting. My name is Jimmy. Matty is here with me. We are going to discuss all things building Jomboy Media. There's a lot of questions I just pulled from the YouTube channel that I will be answering that you guys asked. Thank you very much for asking. And we will be joined by Swilly, special guest, who is our most recent hire on the content team. And also, I'm going to throw this sticky ball at the lens. If it sticks perfectly, everybody has to like, subscribe, and share the episode with someone they love. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Skimmed off the edge. You guys are free. Just watch and enjoy. No homework. How you doing, Matty?
I'm good. Wish that ball hit, huh?
Would have been huge.
Would have been huge.
Would have been huge. Shout out to Will, K, and Hutch, our most recent Substack subscribers over there, where we're giving out discounts and exclusive content twice a day and behind-the-scenes looks. And I'm trying to get more involved in some of those. I haven't been involved in a little bit. Oh, no, I did. I posted while I was recording Things You Missed, Volpe got injured, and it was in the middle of an ad read. Didn't break. Pro is all pro. And then I couldn't go back to recording Things You Missed because I was watching Is Volpe Okay? So I was kind of doing like a live breakdown and reading the lips and like reacting. And we didn't really have any place for that to go. So I went to Substack.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people checked it out. So that's awesome. You were on vacation and sick?
I was on vacation, yeah. That's when I missed 2 episodes ago. And
did you watch my solo episode?
Yeah, I did.
Tour of the office?
Yeah, that was good. I've considered just clipping that out and posting it in full by itself too. But yeah, you spun the camera to this empty chair.
Yeah.
That was.
And you were gone. I can't jump on the desk anymore.
And I heard some bath stuff about me playing this game in the bath.
That was Jake.
How did he know?
He said that what was the movie garage thing.
I know, yeah. I watched the whole video when I was sick. Yeah, it's good.
It was tough.
I really liked it.
I can't jump on the table anymore. Something's wrong with my ankle.
Because you were jumping on the tables?
I don't know. I honestly think it's because me and Jack filmed that cricket video and my body wasn't used to any of that motion.
That was a while ago, though.
It's been hurting for a month. That's why I finally went to a physical therapist because usually things go away. In cricket, when you're batting, you do that like every ball is like this. Well, it's hard on the chair. This motion where you're kind of leaning over that ankle.
Yeah.
Probably better on here. Okay, ready? You're like that.
Yeah.
And I think we filmed like a 4-hour video.
Right.
I think the repetitiveness got to me. I don't know. And then my arm also was fucked up, but she said that isn't a tear or anything. It's like the muscle constricted on me and needs to be massaged loose because it's just like, knotted up. But then she was like that. She ran all these tests and she was like, you probably should go somewhere because it might actually be bad.
Okay. Well,
it doesn't feel bad. It feels like a popping of the joint. But then she said, for her test, no joints. So whatever. No more jumping on the desk for me. I really enjoyed it as a way to give me energy.
Yeah.
It was a nice, fun time. Rob Lowe visited the office yesterday.
Speaking of energy.
Yeah, he's got great energy. Mm-hmm. He's like very positive, happy person. Now, he's been on Talkin Baseball. We've known him like faintly for a little bit now. But 2020 World Series, we went and said hi to him. Through connections, we know his sons. And I went on his podcast. So there's been a lot of interaction. So
do you think that he forgot you were on his podcast?
No. Just don't think that's the plug.
Yeah.
But it's the second time now we've had someone come through. William Byron came and then Rob Lowe and do like a 30-minute car wash. Mm-hmm. And it is fast.
Yeah. He was like, oh, we're moving.
I think they like it.
I think so
most people like it because they don't want to just be lingering and they like when you have something for them.
Yeah.
And they're coming from he came from Good Morning America. Byron came from ABC and then WFAN where it was like, kind of that morning crowd for moms, and then deep sports fans, and then he came here and just did a bunch of silly, quick hitting shit. He was like, "Oh, this is fun," and Rob kept doing like, "Okay, more." Mm-hmm. He's awesome though, but I think we're doing well with those quick whip arounds and the reenacting. He did the line readings of Savages in the Bronx, which is something I pitched, or we thought up in the room. I don't know if it was my original idea, but I definitely heard it or thought of it and was like, "That's really good." So we're gonna try and have more guests, especially actors, because they do ADR. They do like line readings and lip syncing all the time. They hate it usually. That's why I said, all right, we got every actor's favorite thing, ADR. And he was like, oh, wow. But he knows the videos. But we do plan on having more of those. So hopefully we get someone to do like the umpire's voice in an old breakdown. And then the next actor that comes through does the managers. And then I can release as like a 2-man play. Yes. Here is... I'm trying to think of people that might swing by. Paul Rudd and Rob Lowe recreating. What's the one that we like? It's Laz Diaz and
the Marlins manager, but I don't know his name.
It was Skip Shoemaker. Yeah, Rob Lowe as Skip Shoemaker. Paul Rudd as Laz Diaz. Yeah. I actually want to ask Booney, like, hey, Rob Lowe played you.
Oh yeah, I think that you should. If he hasn't seen it.
What do you think about that? Also got a call from the Yankees about the Judge car crash video yesterday.
Yeah. How about that?
They were just like, what is this?
Like, Did you bring it to them? Like, they had never saw it before.
They had never saw it. Apparently, yeah. So they called me and they're like, what is it? Like, what was the context? And I said, the context was no context. It's weird. I was like explaining the show. I was like, we do awards and the names of the awards are just irrelevant and dumb. And then Jake has to guess who's winning it based on the name. The joke here was Jake and I had texted about how when Judge was in high school, he took part in like the PSA against drinking and driving, where his role was to die. So he fake died. Jake and I texted about that. So on the podcast, I knew that if I said, thank God you didn't die in that car accident, Jake would get it right away. And then the joke is kind of on the audience being like, how the fuck did Jake get that? What are they talking about? So like the context, the whole thing was out of context. Mm-hmm. And he was like, all right, I get that. He's like, but where'd you get the footage? And I was like, oh no, it's just on YouTube. I said, I posted about this in 2017 because I was finding all the players' high school highlights. Like I found Greg Bird's high school highlights and he was like, oh, it's just on YouTube? And I was like, yeah. He's like, and I was like, it's also fake. Like he's acting. If Judge actually got a car accident, I wouldn't post it. And he was like, yeah. I was like, it's bizarre. And he was like, yeah, it's bizarre. It's also bizarre you guys post it. And I said, well, yeah, that's what I do. I'll dig up old weird shit and have like fun. He was like, yeah. He's like, all right, it's fine. He's like, not as if it's not fine. But he just wanted answers because I think like Judge's people were like, what? Did he like pay for this footage? And he was like, no, I just want answers. But that was pretty funny. That's been around forever, that video.
Do you think the YouTube video is still there now?
Probably. My school did that every 15 minutes. It's crazy, dude. Come around and kill people.
Yeah. I didn't do that. We had the
actual
total
video
car.
I showed people the actual video and Judge is like laid out on top of the car dead for like a long time.
God. It's crazy.
His soul leaves his body. They also have footage of him playing sports in high school. That's originally how I found it. I just searched. But it was kind of hard. He was like, what's the context? And I was like, no, the context is...
There's
none. Like, I just kind of said it as if it was crazy. And then the very, like, tongue-in-cheek joke I was making in the award, people got really mad at on Twitter, I guess. I didn't see it, but they told me that everyone was hot in the streets. Yeah. Because I say, thank God you didn't die in that car crash because you're helping my team win games. Which is, this is a whole bit. It's like, sports fans selfish. And
Yeah.
they're like, as if that's the only thing that matters. Like, what?
Well, yeah, that response is silly. I saw it first through Twitter responses without seeing the video. I was
Oh.
like, what are people saying? Like, what
I
happened?
didn't see anything on Twitter.
And then I
But I
played
was
the
told
clip,
they're really upset.
and I was like, oh, is this AI? What the hell?
Yeah, I think that's what judges people and the Yankees wanted to know. Like, what is this? And I was
Yeah.
like, I just Googled. I was looking for high school highlights. When I searched for Greg Bird's high school highlights, he was mic'd up for a game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, as a high schooler, I think. And I found all those. This was a long time ago. I did a whole Twitter thread on Cashman in college. I actually showed Cash that when we were down for spring training because he hadn't seen any of the pictures. But I was able to like go through like archives of yearbooks and find like I did like a whole report on Cashman, the baseball player in college.
That's cool.
It was like off-season content 2017. So eventful day yesterday. We also went on Casuals with Katie Nolan. Vlog. You vlogged it for Talkin Yanks.
Yep.
Talkin Yanks, even if you don't like Talkin Yanks, you're not interested in keeping up with the Yankees. We are regularly releasing vlog footage on Talkin Yanks. A lot of it is behind the scenes of Yankee stuff, but sometimes it's just like, around the office behind the scenes. So if that interests you, you can check them out there. And if you're listening to this, you kind of are someone that likes behind the scenes stuff. That's the whole show.
Yeah. I found the Judge video.
There's part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, there is.
The cops go to his parents' house and talk to his parents at their kitchen table and tell them their son died. In the video. I mean, it's all fake. Yeah. He dies at the very end of part 1.
Yeah, I see.
And then the very beginning of part 2, he's dead. How crazy did they zip the body bag up over his face?
I didn't know. We just parked a car on the front lawn that was totaled.
That's what they did in Connecticut. But yeah, I was like, 4 towns away.
Yeah.
Like, an hour or so from Judge. So I was saying my high school probably did the same production. It was the very same thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
It was nuts. All right. I have some quick questions.
Yeah.
Our warehouse challenges has come out.
Yeah.
That was a topic on here.
Yeah, warehouse challenges came out, and I feel like the initial the response has been awesome. The initial views are like good.
Mm-hmm. And they're evergreen videos, so they should get bumps. Even like a year later, 2 years later, we found that with a lot of our evergreen stuff that when baseball comes around, we have a lot more filmed. We kind of redid the order of release to help with timeless. So like the most recent one that came out was a tour. And I think that can be like we titled it and thumbnailed it for interest right now. But I think after the initial wave, we can just rebrand that like tour of Jomboy Media's warehouse and the evergreenness there, or anyone that finds warehouse games, that will then they'll be interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah. That plays more time. More evergreen.
Yep. Yeah. But all the first 4 videos are me, Jack, Jake, and Zoe. The channel won't always be the 4 of us. Like we will have other people mixed in and other appearances. And Jack and Shelfie filmed some. Me and Jack filmed one solo. It will be more diverse. It was just kind of over winter. That's who was around and coming up with ideas and having fun. People seem to enjoy them. And I enjoy filming them. That's what Zoe and I were saying the other day. Like, we haven't done a lot of... In 2023, we did a lot of these. And, we just, fucked around at the warehouse and made videos, but we were very unorganized, so it was kind of time-consuming, and we didn't know what we were doing. And then last year, we didn't do any because we were doing all Captain's League and warehouse games. And... that was why we did this, made a new channel, because I feel like we got to get back to doing fun shit and having guests and collaborations. We just had the guys that created a one-bounce stickball league come, and we played against them. I don't know when that's going to come out, but that was fun.
Good.
Yeah, and we're going to make shorts this week. So that's the other thing is these channels take off with shorts and fun ideas. Putting the pitching machine on the loft was something I've wanted to do for so long.
Yeah, it turned out a lot of fun.
That was I just kept saying like, ooh, I want to do that. And then the glass one was also like, we had this Google sheet of tons of ideas. And then that wasn't even on the idea. That was like just, I remember like a very late night text message think tank. See if I can find the original. Let's see. Because I think that was Jake's idea. Which is cool. We created a new sport that we're filming soon called Warehouse Golf Ball. It's taking place of what was supposed to be in Captain's League Warehouse Baseball. That had to get scrapped. Story for another day. Well, that makes it sound like something that's mysterious. Created a sport, it was too dangerous, so we had to scrap it. Yep. So it's Warehouse Golf Ball, which actually I really love. It's funny.
It's fun.
And just like the visualness of is really funny. Let's see. What was I thinking? Whatever. What's next? Questions?
Yeah, we're going to rapid fire. So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Starting on one that's not super rapid fire, but it's a fun question from Jason. If you had an adult league baseball team composed of JM employees, what is your starting 9 and pitching rotation?
Okay.
Maybe you do this of warehouse athletes.
Starting 9. K-Mac would be at first base. Jake would be at third base for now.
Okay.
Trev's on the mound.
Yeah.
I'm catching because I'm going to just have fun catching. And if I'm not the best there, I don't care. I want to do it. It's like my favorite thing. That sounds fun. K-Mac at... Oh, wait. We got all the warehouse guys?
I guess.
Okay. Then I'm going to put Norp at second and maybe Drew Davis up the middle.
Sure.
And Jack Doyle at third.
Okay.
Well, I need some speed in the outfield. K-Mac's at first because he was a first baseman.
Yeah.
Shelfie's DHing?
Makes sense. I think you just moved Drew to the outfield.
Drew to the outfield?
Yeah.
Center field? Go get it?
Yeah.
Cohen is here.
Dalt.
Oh, Dalt would be good outfielder as well.
That's a good outfield, just them.
Yeah. Cohen or Doyle needs to be in the infield. He's got good hands. He actually needs to be at short or second.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hogging catcher. I don't know if I belong.
No, he's a fine catcher.
But I'll have fun.
All right. I would say Norp, Doyle up the middle, K-Mac, and you had Jake.
Yeah.
And then Trevu, and then the 3 outfielders we said.
Yeah. It's fun. We did it.
Who is Dusty?
Dusty is the warehouse weasel.
If JM became even larger than it is now, would you ever consider expanding to create other offices throughout the country?
No. I think nothing's in stone. Right now, that doesn't feel like something that would work. Maybe the company changes and it becomes something that does. But no, I mean, even having remote employees was hard. They felt on an island. We felt like they weren't on the same page. So full-time employees that weren't able to come in and be part of like meetings is tough. Like, so no, it would need to be like the company gets really big and hires like a sub company that has its own culture and its own thing, but they're not really, get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no. Quick answer, no.
What do you think of the new angle of showing the entire pitch from behind the batter and umpire? What angles would you like to see during a game that are not shown?
That was a very like AI voice that you did there. I don't like that angle. That's not a new angle. It's an old angle. I don't like seeing the pitch in live time from different angles. So it's like a rule I have in Warehouse for blitzball, and for this golf ball league we were talking about is viewers are creatures of habit. Humans are creatures of habit, and you need context to compare pitch to pitch. So if you see one from this angle and the other from that angle, you don't really know. Like ump cam in live time is awful. Ump cam in replay is awesome because I know what the pitch looked like. So from my point of view, I get to see a slider inside to a lefty, and I'm like, oh, wow. And then they show the replay, and I go, oh, that's what that looks like? But if they show it first from a brand new angle, I'm kind of like, what did I watch? Can you show me the normal so I can compare it to everything else I've watched? That's one of my bugaboos about baseball. Has room for creativity where I think it doesn't need it during the action. Like basketball, hockey, football, they show you the play from the same camera angle almost every time.
Right.
And as a viewer, now you can compare everything and see it. Like just because it's slower and you have more angles doesn't mean you should do that. I think the audience likes the comfort of being able to compare.
Agree. The Mets broadcast was getting love on Twitter last night like crazy for their cinematic stuff.
Yeah, I like that stuff not in live time.
Yeah.
I don't like split screen. Like I love split screen for a replay, but I don't like it in live time because now you're making me do the work of figuring out what I should watch when I think a good director, producer, or a good broadcast shows you what you should be watching, not gives you options.
Yep.
Or spreads your eyes. Have you seen the new Texas Rangers score bug? They put some info on the bottom left and some info on the bottom right. So it's like the normal shit you like is the bottom left, but then the pitcher, batter, and stuff is on the bottom right. Now I got to scour for info when you don't realize how trained you are to watch the pitch and then flash your eyes to the score bug and pick up what you want. Now I got to go, now I got to look 3 different areas of the screen.
Yeah, that's like Apple TV was doing that with the bottom right info too.
Well, that was just info that didn't matter.
Well, as the warehouse is getting bigger,
as we're talking about this, our team for warehouse for Blitzball Battle, if no one has watched Blitzball Battle 6, the editing is awesome. And they took things from ESPN, like the touchdown graphic, and from Fox and from Apple. Next batter up was like Fox in the World Series, and Apple did the win probability. Yep. And they took all these little broadcast nuggets and in satirical or just using them from all different places. And our audience enjoyed them because they know the references. Right. So I just recorded 4 different versions of cricket, test cricket, a T10 league, which is very carnival-y, the IPL and the PSL, and gave them that crew the games. And I said, hey, find some stuff from these leagues that you like in that way, because then any cricket fan that watches will be like, they got that from the IPL, or that's they do that in test cricket, and kind of scratch that itch, because I think it's really cool. But obviously they're not watching those leagues.
True. Hey, you don't know. As the warehouse is getting bigger, more competitive, and having a higher production value, do you worry about losing the backyard feel? Has there been an upgrade you guys decided against solely because it felt a little too professional?
Losing the backyard feel and the funness is definitely always on mind. I would say we added a ton recently for that. We added Dusty, the warehouse weasel, a mascot who can come in during the game and fuck things up. We added the crowds rooting for specific teams and fighting each other and having the whack pack, which is basically we're a boy band that cheers for the whack, and I'm a big whack pack guy. I'm the leader of the whack pack.
Wow.
Unless I play against them.
Right.
That's true. I hand out the uniforms. I got the face paint. So that was good because there was so much zany shit going on and weird stuff. And some stuff becomes so normal, like the balls bounce off all the walls, and there's crazy shit going on. Sometimes we try to add something like, oh, I don't know, that's kind of like a little crazy, and we're like, the whole thing's fucking crazy. I think you've normalized so much of this in your brain, you forget like the whole thing is crazy. So a lot of that was to bring just like the silliness back into it. And also when making decisions about players, we are not making decisions based on skill to a degree. We don't want to be the best blitz ball players, floor ball players, ball and play players in the world. Like, we don't want people coming to us being like, this is the best. We want to have entertaining. We want to promote our own people. We want to keep it loose and light. I think that was part of taking away the money prize for the winners, was because it kind of it went to a different place. Like, that's not the goal.
We might be the best ball and play players.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You probably invite any other cricket guys in. Some of them.
They'll struggle at first.
Yeah, actually, a lot struggle at first.
I think an upgrade that we decided against, like we've talked about.
Well, I will never
fixing the walls, flooring it.
I'll never turf the place, because then we're not warehouse games. We're just sports facility games. We're the same as any other place. And really, like floorball, we're trying to paint the tiles so they're not red anymore, so it looks more industrial. What were you going to say?
Like we've talked about the walls, like the left wall taking the pads out, or the right wall taking that blue wall out, stuff like that, where it's like we could get a better wall, but no.
Oh, yeah. We did buy cushions for those walls, like high school cushions. We're just really worried if that means people are going to put those up, we'd have to make the fake walls that hide the cablings much more secure.
Yeah.
Because once you put those up, people are going to run into them more.
Yeah.
And is that more dangerous or less dangerous? I don't know.
Do you keep all the raw footage from the warehouse or just the finished edit? And what about for other channels?
Warehouse is the most organized in this front because it's a group project. So, yeah, all the raw footage from Blitzball Battle 3 we have gets kept on a server. Mm-hmm. And then the other channels we're starting to. It's a process that we'll get into soon, but not everything. No. I just started keeping old breakdowns for the first time 8 years in.
Yeah. How do you get so good at talking to the camera, especially like this episode where there's no producer in the room? It seems hard to keep talking with no one else to keep the conversation flowing.
Yes, that's from Cameron Charouz. It's really weird. I think you just do it like over and over and over and over and over again. But it is weird to do at first. And then you just talk. You just like talk as if you're talking to someone.
Yeah. I feel like that's why a lot of people talk to the camera.
Yeah.
They say, oh, hey, guys.
Yeah. Like, what up? And then just talk. You just talk.
Yeah, they all say, like, what up?
What up, guys? Welcome.
This is a good question from Bear Suit Attack, because I had the same one watching that video. Is the Last Boy Mickey Mantle book in Studio 2 also fake?
So I did a tour of the studio a couple episodes ago, and there's a Mickey Mantle, The Last Boy book in behind my head. Ooh, I think all these books are going to fall now. In the main studio. Oh.
Ooh.
I didn't need to cause a mess. This one's real.
Grimy.
Yeah, it's real messed up. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Good question.
Agreed. Get that bobblehead out of there.
Well, why was this not falling before? Were they leaning this way?
No, but... And then last question before we bring in Swilly. How many Robs do you have at Jomboy Media Company? It gets confusing on which Rob is which.
Yeah, we got a lot of Robs. 3 Robs now. Rob M, Rob S, and Rob T. Mm-hmm. Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 Robs.
Some last names, stuff. Basically, I would say I go by Sirocco, Moretti, and then Robbie. I don't call anybody Rob.
I call them all Rob when I'm talking to them.
But not about them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Swilly.
Hi.
Does everyone call you that outside of content world?
A lot of people outside of content world call me that. The only people that really call me Sarah are like my family, although sometimes they like joke and call me Swilly, and like my best friends from high school, like freshman year before Swilly was like a nickname.
So it started before posting online.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Mine, Jomboy, was like a nickname. It was like a fake nickname.
Okay.
And I just graduated college. I was applying to a bunch of schools.
Okay.
And I changed all my social medias from Jimmy O'Brien to like the flavor of the week nickname.
Okay.
Which was, well, it was Jommy, really, was what Jake would call me.
Really?
It was a
Okay.
typo on my friend's phone. Jimmy went to
Oh,
Jommy.
no way. Okay.
And then Jake would call me Jomalope, Jomalantern, Jom Kid, Jom Boy, and Jom Boy. I was like there. So I just
one that
made my
stuck.
socials that.
Okay.
And then like social media died. I wasn't using it.
Yeah.
I was out of college and we were working and I was just like kind of like reading, not typing.
Sure.
And when I started doing Yankee stuff, that was what it was.
Stuck.
And then it stuck and then the SEO
Okay.
was there.
I like
so
that.
like no one called me John Boy. And I'm
Okay.
getting away from that now. The more I do other stuff, people call me Jimmy.
Yeah. Which
yeah.
do you prefer, like that people are getting away from Jomboy, or do you like not really care?
I don't really care.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't really care. You can call me whatever.
Whatever. Hey, you.
Yeah. But I didn't know if like that was an online moniker that became.
Yeah.
But no, you were just called that.
Yeah, it started like my sophomore, junior year of high school. On my varsity team, there were 3 Sarahs that either started or backed up, played on the right, or on the the right side of the field. So I played first base in high school. We had a second baseman, her name was Sarah, and then we had a right fielder that was Sarah. Wow. So when it was Sarah, we all looked.
All H's?
2 H's, 1 without.
Wow.
So we all got nicknames. And so Swilly is just a combination of Sarah Wilson.
Yeah.
And then it just stuck. I told a couple of my teammates in college and they were like, oh my gosh, I love that. And so they started calling me it. And then like you said, the SEO was there. The SEO was there for me too. So
you would think it was more common, but it's
not
really.
not. Yeah. When you search Swilly online, I don't really know. It's like a nature landmark or something. I don't know. I've like searched just Swilly and like some weird like hiking backpacking stuff comes up. I don't know. But other than that,
and so many athletes that are their first name starts with an S and last name is Williams or Wilson.
Yep.
That I would have thought.
Yeah.
Because so many people do the A-Rod now for any name.
Sure.
So like S-Will would become Swill.
Yeah.
You
That's
would just
true.
think that would happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Swilly has like a certain sound to it that maybe like a big burly husky man wouldn't want to be called Swilly. I don't know. That's my
Maybe.
guess.
Sometimes they get called Tiny.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Anyways, welcome to New York City.
Thank you.
Can you give everyone listening your content story? Like you started posting when an interest and then when it kind of started becoming something that you were doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was always somebody like as a kid that loved like taking pictures, taking videos. Like I was 6-7 years old running around the house with my mom's camcorder, like a big one, going up to my parents, like talking to them or like giving house tours. Like I loved that stuff as a kid. And I wanted to be an actress really like as a child. So I kind of always felt comfortable in front of the camera. That was never really like a big deal for me. And then once social media kind of became a thing and started to become what it was, I was like, okay, like this is fun. Like I tried out YouTube, I tried out other things. And I just kind of, I don't know, I think from using it, I kind of really started to love it. And so before the baseball stuff, which in terms of baseball, I'm a first generation baseball fan in my family. My parents never really watched it. I went to a fundraiser with my school at an Angel game and I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this. And not to age myself, but that was around the time when the Angels went to the World Series. So that also kind of helped me get into it. And then, so before the baseball stuff, I was a power lifter. So I used to like compete in squat bench deadlift. And there was a audience for that online. And so that was kind of how I got my start. Was I would post my lifts online. I would talk about what I was doing in the gym, what I was eating. I would compete, like I said. So I would do like weekly check-in. So that was kind of how I got my start in like, okay, here's like a content plan, I guess, or like what ideas can I come up with to post about. So that was how I got my start. And I got a small following from that, 4,000 followers on Instagram, which to me at the time, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like there's an interest in this, you know? And so eventually I started to get hurt enough where I was like, okay, maybe I need to like take a pause on this. And then, you know, I don't really know how I kind of put the puzzle pieces together for baseball, but as a lot of people get their starts, I had a video go viral on TikTok. So I was at the field with my partner at the time, and I was hitting off of a tee, and I hit a ball over his head. And I like got excited about it, you know, because I hit it over his head, and the comments were just, oh, congratulations, you hit the ball 80 feet. Wow, that's so impressive, blah, blah, blah. But it got like almost 1 million views. And I was like, I can recreate this. Like I can do this again. And once I got that bug, and then once I kind of got on like baseball social media, I was like, oh, I can do this. Like I'm enough of a diehard fan. And so I kind of started to combine the two, and now my content is really Angels baseball, statistics. I love stats. I love math. I'm a math person. I
just created a new stat.
Oh, let's hear it.
It's called Simple Game Score. It's coming out. I just recorded the video on it today. Because game scores are too convoluted.
Okay.
Just very quick.
Yeah, no, I love this.
I'm going to be over a lot of people's heads here. It's outs.
Okay.
I'm only trying to find out the result. I don't care if it's indicative of future starts, if it if you took the wrong path to a good result. So for starting pitching, it's outs minus earned runs.
Okay.
And then you minus half of your unearned runs.
Outs.
So you get a point for every out you record.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So 6 innings, you would get 18 points.
18 points.
Okay. Yeah, you would get 18.
Yeah.
And then every earned run is minus. So if it's 6 innings, 1 earned run, now you're down to 17.
Okay.
6 innings, 3 earned runs, you're down to 15, which is the same as 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, which I actually love because that's a different value. Sometimes the quality start and giving your team that 6th inning is more valuable than a 5 shut.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
You got 4 pitchers now. And then it's half of your unearned runs you get docked.
Half of your unearned. Okay.
Because you played a part.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's very simple. So my point is, if you go complete game shutout, that's 27.
27.
And I don't care if you do that in a different way. Like a lot of other game scores will grade complete game shutouts differently. Well, he walked 4 and he struck out 10. Who gives a shit?
Who cares?
At the end of the day, they all had the same exact game. They pitched all innings and they gave up 0 runs.
Okay. So this is a pitcher stat.
Yeah. Starting pitcher
I like
only.
this.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it's really a team stat. Like which team is getting the best effort. So the Kansas City Royals, 15 points out of the 27 is basically I'm calling it a chance to win, a CTW. And
I like this.
And the Royals are averaging a chance to win every start. They're the only team that's averaging 15 or higher.
Wow. Okay.
But they also, on offense, allow a chance to win on average because their offense stinks. Yeah. And then if you get under 10, that is a unhelpful effort.
Unhelpful effort.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious about, not to tie it into the Angels, but I'm curious about the Angels. I saw a stat the other day that the Angels were one of the rotations that, one of the starting rotations that went the most innings, or no, that's wrong. Their bullpen went the least amount of innings, but gave up like the most amount of runs.
Oh. Well, this would just be starts.
Okay.
But
so I'm curious. Well, if your bullpen's going the least amount of innings, then surely your starting rotation is going pretty long. So
where the hell's Anaheim? Oh, LA. So through the first 40 games, your average simple game score is 13.73, which puts you 12th out of all teams.
Top half.
But 52% of your games have been your starting pitcher has given you a chance to win, which is probably high. Yeah, that is the top
Wow.
5 in like 52% starting pitcher gave you a chance to win. Now, how many times did the starting pitcher give you an unhelpful effort? Only 12. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. And then I have this set up where I can click. I show all this on, I don't know actually where we're going to post it, but I recorded it today.
Okay.
So these are all your starters. So Tyler Anderson is averaging a chance to win every outing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Does that say 15.1?
15, his average score is 15.18.
Okay. There we go.
And then he's given 0 unhelpful efforts. So every time he pitches,
Yeah.
62% of the time you have a chance to win, but 0, he's like killing you. Where he's going 5 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, or 3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. We're like now the bullpen. Kyle Hendricks, 28% of the time, unhelpful effort. And only 12% of the time, or only 42%. So he's the weakest.
Yeah. That all checks out.
You
All
say
that
is the
checks
best.
out.
No, because Tyler Anderson's 0 over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my new stat.
I kind of love that. I kind of want to look at that more. I like that.
I'll share it with you.
Please, yes.
We have a question. I'll break it up. Someone
Okay.
said, what sport are you most looking forward to playing in the warehouse?
Okay, so I think I said this when I got here. Ball and play is my favorite.
And
Ball
you've played that.
And I've played that, yeah. So that was, so aside from ball and play, I am really, really excited to give blitzball a try. I've never, one of the things that I've said this multiple times, I've never seen or taken an at-bat against an overhand arm slot before.
Oh.
So I'm interested to see how I can adjust to that. I think that I can. I like to think I'm a pretty adaptable athlete, I guess, or
It takes everyone a while.
yeah, surely. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to pick it up in a couple weeks or anything crazy like that. Probably not even a couple months. But I really, on both sides of the ball too, because I've messed around a little bit and thrown a few bullpens with a baseball, just so I can learn it more.
Yeah.
I like to think I understand the game of baseball pretty well. Even though I love stats, I love analytics, I think I have a really good feel for the game of baseball. I think that that's more of my strong suit, but I don't really understand the pitching side of things because I was never a pitcher.
Yeah.
So I'm okay,
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I have a couple friends that played college ball or whatever, or that were pitchers. So they've taught me a few pitches. And
Can you pitch softball style?
I mean,
Because I watched a video the other day. It was some D1 softball team,
Okay.
and it was guess the pitcher, and they were all on the team.
Oh yes.
And I was very surprised that non-pitchers can't do it at all. They looked like
Yeah.
me trying to do it. Where sometimes you go to a football practice and the O lineman can throw a nice spiral because
Yeah.
they're just around balls the whole time.
Yeah, that's
so I
true.
would have thought it was more like that, but it's and baseball, throwing a ball is similar enough to overhand pitching.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was it clicked in my head oh shit, some of these girls don't do this and they look like me trying.
Yes.
I would have thought just because they're on the team, everyone can kind of do that.
Yeah.
So I was genuinely curious, can you do it, or is it foreign feeling?
I've messed around enough with let me pitch a few to where I don't think I would look quite like it unnatural, but I think it's just, everybody throws things overhand. I think that underhand movement, even though it's more natural for your body, so much better for your body. You see softball pitchers throw 130, 140 pitches in a game. I just don't think people inherently do it enough to where it is
you also
a natural
you
movement.
lose it. My
that's true.
friend's
That
dad
mobility
coached
and all
softball,
that,
and he's
yeah.
if they don't pitch for a week, they'll lose it. It's because you can do it forever.
Right.
That's at least what he told me. He was you have to be consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or the muscle memory goes away.
Yeah, maybe we put it to the test. Maybe I see if I can.
Well, I want to because I want to do a video with you and Norp. It was scheduled for this week, but I was no, I didn't mean me, Jimmy. I meant Norp, Jimmy. We're gonna do a bunch of shorts this week.
I see. Okay, yeah,
of
yeah,
baseball
yeah.
versus softball challenge.
Okay.
I'm not a good qualifier. I didn't play.
I mean, let's throw you in there. We'll see what happens.
Floorball is very exhausting. Are you ready for that? Have you ever played with hockey with a stick in your hand?
Never.
You got to get one when you start coming to the warehouse.
Yes.
And just start messing with it.
Yes.
That's a very foreign one.
Yeah, that's what Sam told me. She's like, oh, just get some practice in and you'll be fine.
Just like take it, hit against the wall. Sam would do that. She played field hockey.
Yeah,
so
she
was
played,
good.
right?
But
So
yeah, you just hit it against the wall. And that one's so tiring though.
yeah, floorball will be interesting. I don't know if I'm in good enough shape for that, but we'll see what happens.
No one really is. I think we got smarter
Yeah.
the first year. We were like, didn't know how to pace ourselves or whatever. That's crazy. How was ball and play? I mean, we can't give anything away. It hasn't come out yet. But compared to watching it and playing it,
So much harder. So much harder. Like I said, ball and play is my favorite of the bunch. So I like walked in and I was like, okay, like I have a good idea of the rules and, you know, I think I can hang or whatever. But once I'm like sitting in one of those chairs, freaking watching Lou Dab take at bats and run back and forth, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
it moves fast.
It moves so fast.
And the energy is a lot.
Oh, it's incredible though. I love it because I'm a really competitive person. So when I'm like playing slow pitch, I mean, you know, within reason, but I'm cheering for my teammates. I'm getting excited for them. Like I'm just a competitive person in general. So I love that the energy was so high because I'm like, okay, like I can fit in here. I can do this. And then as each game went on, I definitely got more comfortable with the environment, the rules. So, you know, by bracket play, I was like really getting into it with like certain calls and stuff. Not like getting into it, but I was, you know, like, oh, that was close. Like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know because I'm just getting more familiar with the rules, but so much harder in person.
Yeah.
But so much fun. I can't wait to play more.
We just had people come to watch blitzball. Last week we did like a collab and then we were pitching blitzballs and two people were like, this is way faster than it looks on TV. I'm like, yeah, everyone says that.
Of course.
We don't know how to like make it more apparent.
Yeah.
Because it looks so easy. Ball and play is lob pitching.
Yeah.
But people don't understand the physics of the ball. It makes it so hard to square up and like it spins. It's just bizarre.
Yes, it's the physics of the ball. I would feel like I'm squaring it up and it's just like, like okay, great. Never mind.
And the other thing that doesn't come through is it's loud in there because the only thing the
yeah.
audience is hearing is the isolated mics that are just getting the voices.
Right.
They all kill the crowd noise and because it would sound awful.
Yeah.
Because it's just so loud and echoey. Like you can't even hear each other on the field sometimes.
Right. Yeah. You have to scream or be right close to them or yeah, it is super, super loud in there. I love it.
How are you liking New Jersey and New York? Big move.
Huge move.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's so funny because I don't know, I got offered this position, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm so happy to be here. And I even remember when we were talking right before I left after ball and play, you were like, what day like sounds good to you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you think about the first week of May? And I was like, oh, I can come earlier if you want. Yeah. I remember having that conversation with you because I was just like, I don't know, I'm just going to make it happen. Like it's big, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to make it happen. But, I was afraid that it was going to be a really big shift for me only because as an Orange County native in California, I don't particularly go out of my way to go into LA. It's not my favorite place to like drive
LA
and
stinks.
Yeah, it's not there. I enjoy a lot of parts of LA, but being in LA as somebody that isn't native there kind of stresses me out. And so I was worried that I was going to be in the heart of New York City and just be really overwhelmed and not really enjoy it. But when I got off the path on my first day and I'm walking to work, I'm like, oh, this is sick. Okay. Like this is really, really cool. And I'm in a good area to where I have a lot to explore in New Jersey. But I went to my first Mets game last night. I went to Citi Field for the first time.
How'd you like it?
It was great. I loved it. The food was really, really good. I was a little butthurt because I was filming a vlog for it, which, by the way, I'm going to have my first YouTube video come out when this goes live. But my next video is going to be, you know, first time at Citi Field. And I was walking in and I had my mic on and they said I wasn't allowed to bring my mic in. And I'm like, I can bring the camera, but I can't bring the mic. steak and
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it because I walk into like Angel Stadium with it all the time, and they don't say
we used to
anything
walk
to
in
me.
with the
but-
Osmos to record, and they'd say, "What's that?" And we'd say, "It's phone charger, external charger."
Okay, well, now I know. But
That's it's silly.
yeah, I think it's silly
It's
too.
all like
but-
production rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the phone is a better camera than this.
Right.
But I'm allowed to have my phone.
Right.
And film.
Exactly. So, but other than that particular part, it was really great. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I didn't really get to fully explore, but I got recommended a bunch of food. I got recommended the steak sandwich there, the Pat LaFrida steak sandwich. Oh, it's so good. It's incredible. And then they have a loaded fries version of it, which is what I got because I try to stay gluten-free. So I tried a bite of the sandwich. But so good. It's like a filet mignon steak. And
We always get gluten-free food when we do our big meetings. So
yes.
For Jeremy, right? Jeremy, why we get gluten-free?
I don't think so. We get gluten-free?
I thought, oh, you know what? We used to get it for Canobio.
Oh, yeah.
We get
okay.
kosher for Jeremy.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. So it was great. I'm excited to try. I sound like a fat ass. Try more food. If I wasn't doing sports content, I'd be a foodie content creator. I love food.
Well,
so.
be careful about all the fake pizza places.
Right. Yes.
That's kind of like the biggest trap that I always feel bad for tourists when they come and they're like, oh, we got to try New York pizza. There's so many, like, the one right by our office, I always send a picture up to at Joe's and I say, you want me to get you a slice? Because it's like awful pizza, but it's like best New York City slice.
Of course.
And it's
Of
awful.
course.
Yeah, you got to go to John's of Bleecker. Or in general, just go to Greenwich Village. That's my favorite part of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And John's pizza is probably like truly good. Like I've taken people there. A lot of people grow up in California. You grow up eating fast food pizza.
Yeah.
So you don't have like the palate. It's the same
exactly,
with
yeah.
people from the East Coast with burritos and Mexican food. It's I'm not knocking anyone.
No,
like it's the
you're
same
right.
thing where people that grow up not eating it, they're like, I can't tell the difference. It's all good.
Right.
And that's what people from California say about pizza. It's all good. It's like, well, yeah, you didn't grow up with like the good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but John's,
okay. I have a working list.
I think is genuinely good. And then New Haven pizza. That'd be my two that I'm like, this is different.
Okay.
And if you eat this and you can't tell the difference between this and Mountain Mike's and Little Caesars and Round Table.
Mountain Mike's is a crazy pull.
Well, that was like all the pizza, like Mountain Mike's, Round Table, Little Caesars really is just cardboard with cheese on it. But
yeah.
if you can't tell the difference, then you eat whatever pizza you want because like you won't ever find a difference. I think it's John's and New Haven pizza.
Okay, I have a working list, so I'll have to.
And there's no good burritos out here. Zero. You just like I have the best place.
Okay.
And we'll get them sometime.
Please, yes,
It's
I want to do a
electric
taste
burrito.
test.
It's
Okay.
not close. No, it's just like they actually wrap it tight, which I appreciate. And it's
that's
big,
nice.
like a giant bullet, but it's not close. It's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, because you were
I was in California for 9 years total.
okay. Yeah, so you yeah. Okay, that's right. So yeah, so you know, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Chinese food, you mean lo mein, but you're going to say chow mein.
Right.
They're
yeah.
different.
Yeah, I don't remember how they're different. Lo mein is like thicker noodles, right?
I don't know, but whatever we call lo mein here
Is
is
chow mein
called chow
back
mein,
home.
or it's one or the other.
Can't have it anyways. I'll feel like I have a rock in my stomach. So
Yeah. That's true. All right, I got to get Talkin Yanks. We got to find a third baseman.
oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Man, that was tough. Is there like any update on how he's doing or anything?
I haven't seen anything. So, but DJ is like starting. It's kind of like weird timing that DJ just got called back.
Yeah,
to play
I
things.
saw that tweet that he was like headed to Seattle or whatever. Yeah,
It's weird.
weird.
Yeah. All right. So where can everyone find you? And I mean, obviously you'll be part of a lot of warehouse and company stuff and all that. Streams for the postseason and all-star.
Yeah.
But in between all that, shout out all your socials so people can find you.
Yes. Swilly Sports on everything, really. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Like I mentioned, I have dabbled in the long form space a bit, but now that I'm out here, I'm for sure going to be doing a mix of vlogs, essay style stuff on baseball and other sports. So Swilly Sports really everywhere that there's a social media platform is where you can find me. So
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for joining.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.